Welcome back, flower friends. We are going to do some potting up today. I had videoed starting my petunias in this container, and if you see, now these were started at the same time. So this is the denim mix wave petunias, and this one was the tie-dye. Look at the difference. Amazing. But they need potting up. I don't know if you can see this, but the roots are way down in here. They should have been potted up sooner, but I was waiting for a delivery. We'll get to that. Right now, also, I wanted to show you, remember I did the egg carton? You could start seeds in egg cartons. I hadn't really done it before, so I wasn't sure how well they would work. I told you the caveat of it being that you have to transplant them sooner than if you have a deeper soil or deeper container that holds more soil. But look at these. I did the coleus, and these were all seeded at the same time, and you see the different germination rate. And out of the 18, I think 1, 2, 3, 4 didn't germinate. But some of them have 3 in them. Like this one has 3, and maybe, who knows, maybe a seed flipped into another cell. I don't know. But look at the different ones. This one I'm particularly excited about. Look at how red that one is. And there's some that look like they're going to be the chartreuse green, the lime green, and others have the red in them, different amounts. So I'm really thrilled with that, how that worked out. So that was a win. But now I want to share with you, I ordered some pots. I know I usually have plenty, but for potting up and having room, I needed something different than what I have. And Roxana over on Soil and Margaritas, she was sharing her pots, her little 2.5-inch pots, and I thought that's a perfect size for potting these up. Also, I was out of the trays. Now these things are such a heavy duty material that they will last me forever. I have stuff I've been using here for the last 15 years. Look at all those. I'll use these up quick, believe me. All the seed starting I've been doing. But anyways, the trays that also they have. I got the white because I thought they looked so clean, and they're kind of taped in there. But very, very heavy duty, and I can get quite a bit. I didn't count because I did pot some things up already to see how many of these that I can, or how many of the little pots that I can fit on here, because I am running out of room on my shelves because I've been doing so much. So I think I can fit 5 or 6 across. 5? This. Now this is from Bootstrap Farmer. They do not know me from Adam, so this hasn't been promoted or sponsored. Oh, nope, 4 across, and I don't know how many that way. But like I said, it's a good amount. And so I'm going to start potting up these, and we'll see how that flies. Now I've got more trays in here. We'll set this down for now. I'm kind of running out of potting soil. I've been using it a lot. So I will go as far as I can with one of these containers. I probably should start with the petunias. No, I'll wait. Those are deeper, so they won't dry out as fast. But I'll start with these. So you can see how to do it with the egg cartons and being so shallow. Now I have to fill up my pot a good amount because those are very shallow. And so I've got, I would say, 3/4 or more full. And then I'm just going to pop one of these out of its cell. And I'm just going to push it up from the bottom. I don't care if I'm ruining this because I'm not going to reuse it. And look at that. Beautiful little root mass. Beautiful, beautiful. And then I'm just going to pop it in there. Just tap it lightly. And I'm going to use something smaller than my big scooper. This is a tablespoon measurer. And I could just scoop in around, shake it down so you get the soil down in there. And then I'm going to water these in once I'm done with all of them. Now what I chose the clear because I wanted to be able to see the roots when they get down further, as well as, and I didn't know this when I got them, but I noticed it when I had watered in my last batch of things that I potted up. I can see how far down the water goes without it running out the bottom. So that's a win-win. Okay, so here's one that has 2 in it. So we will take that one out. I'll just set that, and then I will gently just kind of tease them apart. Oh, there's actually 3 in there. One of them's teeny tiny, but I'm going to do it anyways. I'm going to tease that one apart just at the root level. Okay, that little teeny tiny one I'm setting in there so I don't lose it. I'll probably lose it in my dirt if I don't. And then I'm going to take another pot. Oop, there it went. I probably should have had this filled up first. And I'm going to put this in it, make sure the roots are down there in it, and fill it up. And that's the way I'm going to go with all of them. And then I'm going to show you in a minute how I tease apart the petunia seedlings. So these are the 2.5-inch pots, clear, and then they're white trays. These are not the shallow trays, these are deeper because I wanted them to hold up. So when I'm dinking around on my shelves, I don't knock these pots over. So there are those. I'm going to do the little dinky one. Show you it can be done even though it's super tiny, and it will do fine, just fine. So here's the little tiny one, and I'm just setting it in there. I'm firming it in gently so I don't compress the roots very, very much. And then I will fill it in, fill it around, just move it so it can get done. All good. I'll show it to you. See the little bitty thing in there? And then when I water it, the soil will settle in around the roots. Now let me do this last one really quick before we move on to the petunias. I didn't think you wanted to watch me do every single one. But what have you started? Did you try starting in the egg cartons yet? I was so pleasantly surprised with the results that I figure if I have to buy any eggs in these kind of cartons that I'll reuse them. Yeah, this one, now that once it's emptied and I'll just rinse it out, I'm just going to recycle it, put it in the recycle bin. Because for when I sell my eggs to local people, I use the cardboard ones. So there we have it. Those will continue to reside there. I wanted to move on to do the petunias and show you those a little bit. Now you see how it's just one big container. Now you could do this a couple of ways. I could plop out this whole chunk that's to the side. Make sure it's not going to catch in there. I just have a knife and I slice, because I had kind of sliced it with the divider, but there's roots all in there. So I'm going to pop the whole thing out very, very gently. It's like a piece of cake, chocolate cake. Now you see how it's all roots down there? Do you see that bunch of roots? So now I'm going to gently just kind of pry it apart, let it fall as it will. Now on these I usually write on the pots what plants they are, but the coleus are so obvious I'm not going to do that. With these I will put like the name, like denim, and then I'll know it's the denim petunias because I'll know they're a petunia. But you see how I'm just pulling them apart? So there's tons of roots because it went down and around along the bottom. But all of these pieces I'm going to put into the pots. So I'm going to fill up a pot. Now I'm going to see how far down that will fit. Now I only need to fill it up halfway. And then just let that go down in there. Make sure I get all the roots down in there. Perfect. Firm it down very, very gently. And then I'll top it up a little top it up. I want to leave a little room at the top so that when I water from the top, that it won't overflow. But there we go. I'm going to write denim on this. So if the others happen to catch up to these, I will know the difference between the tie-dye and the denim. Denim. Just very lightly on there. And you know, next year if I want to reuse these and I don't want it to say denim any longer, I just take some alcohol, rubbing alcohol, and wipe it off. That way I'm not messing with tape, I'm not messing with, you know, anything like that. So I'll do a couple more. Again, I'll measure. Yeah, that's about halfway too. That one was a little loose, so yeah, halfway. What great roots. I love growing things like that in mass rather than individual little cells because I seem to get better roots. And they just come apart so easily. Kind of got a lot of dirt on that one, so I was kind of blowing it off. And there we go with that one. I'm so pleased with how well these are doing. And now that they have fresh soil and these new pots, they will just take off like gangbusters. And you see how nice and tidy these fit. I think I could probably fit 8 that way, 4 this way. So I can fit quite a few on here. So I should write on it before I fill it, and that way I'm not tipping the pot to write to see what I'm writing. Did I write on all of them? Yes, I did. Nope, I didn't write on that one. Denim. Yeah, I had potted up some, excuse me, tomatoes yesterday, and I brought it out, the whole tray out, and I knew I had it written on my seed starting record, which I have one right there. I couldn't find the record. I had been moving it around because I had potted up some other things, and I could not remember for the life of me what tomato that one was, because I've done several sowings of tomatoes. So this one, I'm going to kind of pull the side dirt off so it'll fit down in there. Now, don't be overly concerned with disturbing roots. I know a lot of people just go in and cut off, you know, extras because they say they don't want to disturb their roots, and I haven't had any issues. In fact, so if I would have had to buy these in the garden center, like the ones that are very, very popular that drape and get big, those I think are going like $6 to $8 a piece. So if it was 6, we'll go on the low side, that would be $54. So you can really see how I'm saving. So I've now used up my potting soil as I potted up the rest of the coleus. And now I'm going to give them a quick water before I take them and put them back in on the shelf with the lights. It's not quite warm enough at night out here in my greenhouse. It's not a heated greenhouse, so I have to keep them indoors a while longer till our nights heat up, and that can be towards the end of May, especially cold sensitive, like petunia. Then now the petunias, probably in a couple weeks, I can bring them out here. I'm looking over at, I had put some dahlias in trays, and I took some inside and some I left out here. Now in April, I have left them out in the greenhouse, even though it gets pretty cool, but we had a couple of nights in the 20s, and they were looking a little sad, the sprouts, so I might have done them under, or they may, you know, revive, new shoots may come up. But anyways, I am going to water these in, and I always give them a shot of my Organic Rev, which is a root stimulant, and this will help them to get past this little bit of disturbance. It'll accelerate their root development and just make them a tougher plant all the way around. This is rainwater. I use my regular sink water too, though rainwater is always better. Whoops, slop some out on my boot. So I'm just going to gently, I try not to get it on the leaves. I just water in the soil around them. And I don't know if you can see this. Yes, you probably can, but I'm going to show you. See how you can see how far the water is and how well it's distributed? So once I've gotten these watered from the top down, I will put some in the tray for it to really absorb. And then if it's so much water in the tray that they haven't absorbed it all up in maybe half an hour, I'll pour it off. And so I don't waste any of it, I usually pour it off into something that needs watering. So it's all good. No waste. No waste of anything. So as you water, it kind of settles the soil down around the roots. So that's a good thing. This is the one time that I do water from the top. And a lot of times I usually water from the bottom, but that's after they have been settled in. So now there is some coming through to the bottom. As I can see it, I love these clear pots. I'm going to make sure if I am going to get more because I need to pot up so many more things. I still got more tomatoes coming up, etc. And I have, oh, my kitty's out there somewhere, meowing at me. I have things I'm going to start. I wanted to do a series or a video on dollar store seeds. These are local Dollar General. Had these 4 for $1. And this was zinnias. This is Lilliput, which is shorter. Pacific Giant Mixed Delphiniums. I started some, and I did it in a way that I had read online. It's supposed to be really good for them, and helped in germination, and it was a total fail. But the ones I direct sowed, they're doing great. I have to pot those up too. Lettuce. Black-seeded Simpson. This is a very popular lettuce for a very good reason. It's tough. It performs. If you keep it watered, for me, it'll perform all summer long. And then sweet peas. You can never have too many sweet peas. I don't know how many seeds are in here. Let me check. But I just wanted to share using dollar store seeds like this so that anybody, no matter what your budget, could probably afford to grow something. You could pot these in containers. DIY containers for that matter. Let's see how many seeds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 9 seeds for 50 cents. That would be beautiful sweet peas. I've never grown impatiens from seed before, have you? Now this one was $2 for this, and I thought I'd give it a try because I love impatiens. Last year I had them in a container next to my cottage. And they were just gorgeous. So I wanted to try growing them for $2. It's worth a shot, right? Okay, I hope you enjoyed potting things up with me and my new little pots from Bootstrap Farmer. As I said, this isn't sponsored. They don't know me from Adam. But I am really impressed with how many of these you can fit in a tray. I am impressed with the quality of the materials. They're made from very sturdy trays too. And I love that I can see through these and see what's going on beneath the surface. I think that's it. I think that's all there is to that. And then I have plenty of room, or more room at least, on my plant shelf with using these. So there you have it. I hope you enjoyed this video. Come on back for the next one. One of these times it's going to be on the dollar store seeds. And I'm going to have plenty of garden tours. So I'm going to share the progress of all these plants, the ones that I keep. I may have a plant sale here in the early summer, late spring, because I know I've got way more plants than I need. But also, I wanted to share with you, I also had planted some things up, and that's a video that's either up or coming, in these poo pots. These are made from cow poo. And they are a good size, and they're supposed to be really great. You can take them apart and just put them right into the ground. Cut them apart, and they do great in the soil. So I will see you in my next video. Bye. Look at how fabulous they're doing just a couple weeks later. And one of the petunias is even starting to bloom. I'm going to pinch that back because I want it to put energy into growth and not blooming right now, but just look at how wonderful they're doing.